Before Ethernet, before USB and Bluetooth, there was the MIDI cable, the musical instrument digital interface. Wow, this thing is on the back of most synths you're probably playing with today, and it is all about this 5-pin DIN cable that really changed music forever. It's a magic mystery. And there were things before that, like the CV gate and the DIN sync. So it's not like the world was without any kind of connection. But back in 1981, when home computers were expensive and rare, but Roland's founder, Taro or Iketaro Kakeshai, and Tom Oberheim and Dave Smith all came up with the idea of MIDI. Dave Smith hated the original name, which was Yumi. And yeah, I get it. It sounds like some 2000s era Nintendo stuff, but like the 3-point safety belt, the ABS brake, and the Nacho, the MIDI team decided to give this to humanity.
There's only one hope for humanity. The synthesizer.
Roland introduced the first MIDI synth with the Jupiter 6 at the NAMM in 1983, and this was followed very quickly by other solutions like the Poly 61, and MIDI really progressed very quickly so that by like 1985, every good synth had MIDI. And while MIDI was adopted quickly, it was not adopted in the same way across every synth. And we'll definitely get to that in the second part of this video. But overall, this was a great move forward for electronic music. So one thing that was not mid about MIDI was the .mid file, which was a file type where you could actually store sequence patterns, and video games like Doom here in the early 90s used this alongside of the general MIDI protocol. And this basically established 128 common sounds that would be used across any device. Really good for games and sound cards. Pretty bad for synthesizers, though. What was great for synthesizers was things like Cakewalk and other sequencers that existed in the 80s. And these still work with your modern DAWs. So like Cakewalk was great, but even using like Ableton Live, whatever, is greatly enhanced by MIDI. So as mentioned before, like MIDI was built across 16 channels. Most early synths could not even handle that. So the 1.0 format, which actually started in 83 but was revised in 1996, includes events for nodes, for pressure, for aftertouch, and other things. Early MIDI implementations were not always perfect, but even today, like the MIDI Association, who runs MIDI, is releasing MIDI 2.0, which is mostly going to not use that 5-pin cable anymore, but they are still alive and well, and this solution is really strong for driving electronic music. In the next part of this video, we will get into some of the early MIDI implementations, how it all works, what are some standard things that we see across multiple iterations of MIDI, and hopefully it will help you understand it better. So do like and subscribe, and let's keep this conversation going.